Well, holy guacamole, would you look at this? MegaETH. Mega, I believe, stands for Make Ethereum Great Again. And this is an L2 like no other L2 on Ethereum, effectively an L2. And it is a very fast, very fast. So it's designed to be very fast. In fact, it's designed to be faster than Solana. And it is an L2 response, in my opinion, and in other people's opinions, to Solana. Because let's be honest, Solana and of course XRP have been threatening Ethereum for that number two, that position as number two. And of course, XRP isn't really threatening Ethereum's functionality, but Solana has been threatening Ethereum's functionality, right? Taking away all the memes, taking away all the apps, because of course Solana has smart contracts, okay? So a lot of L2s that were sitting on top of Ethereum have been migrating across to Solana. But look at this beautiful website, man. And it's not out yet. I think it's still in testing. But this is going to be big. And this is being touted as finally the savior for Ethereum. Funny thing is, right, projects in the last few years have touted themselves as Ethereum killers, Ethereum killers, Ethereum killers. And for a change, we have something that's touted as, well, an Ethereum saver. So what is this anyway? Let's look at this article, this beautiful article that was written about it. Who's the author? Andrew Fenton. Shout out to Andrew Fenton. This is a beautiful article and it's on Cointelegraph magazine, right? MegaETH launch could save Ethereum, but at what cost? I've already read this article and I found it quite interesting. If you don't want to read it, I'll leave a link to the description, or you can actually just press this button here and it'll play out the audio for you, which is really cool. It's a very nice article to read and I encourage you to do so, or at least let's go through it together. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to point out the most important part of it, what I took away from it, right? Okay. So the hype machine building up around Ethereum layer 2 MegaETH claims it's the answer to Ethereum scaling and sentiment problems. So as we're all familiar with, Ethereum is undergoing some huge sentiment shifts. The long-term holders of Ethereum, a lot of them are jumping ship to the likes of Solana and XRP because Ethereum is failing to deliver anything. It's too slow, clunky, expensive, and there's so many options and alternatives that are starting to eat its lunch. In fact, Ethereum is very quickly becoming the new Litecoin, where it's just sort of there. And the irony is, a lot of the platforms that are actually killing the sentiment of Ethereum in people's heads actually themselves depend on Ethereum because they use the roll-ups technology, right? So, you know, Base, Arbitrum, etc. They've eaten a significant portion of Ethereum's lunch, but they themselves can't survive without Ethereum. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a minute. Prioritizing speed over decentralization, the new L2 will apparently feel as seamless as using a Web 2 app or a centralized exchange and run an order of magnitude faster than all other rollups and Solana combined. In short, the aim is to make Ethereum great again. It'd be easy to dismiss this as pure hyperbole, but MegaETH is backed by some of the biggest names in the industry, including Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin and Joe Lubin, EigenLayer's Sriram Kannan, OG influencer Kobe, and Solana maxi Mert Mumtaz. So there's a Solana maxi in there. Due to the launch of the public testnet in the coming weeks, the EVM-compatible chain has reportedly hit 15,000 transactions per second in private testing while using 60 times more gas, 1.5 gigagas, than existing Ethereum rollups like Base. The gas figure is set to double when the proprietary parallelization engine, try saying that 3 times, is switched on. And the aim is to scale the L2 all the way up to 100,000 TPS and 10 gigagas. Okay, so some geeky stuff there. MegaETH also claims execution times of 10 milliseconds or less, which is well under the 256 milliseconds of the fastest existing rollup Arbitrum. That is absolutely blazing fast, guys. In fact, that would make it seem sensible what is claimed here, the first real-time blockchain. Okay, that would be so fast it would feel as if you were using I don't know, MegaETH or stuff or something like that, where you have a centralized platform that is basically just returning you data from a centralized position, like Coinbase, Binance, or something like that. So that's exciting if they can actually pull that off. But at what cost, guys? So centralized scaling, MegaETH's controversial approach. To achieve such heroic levels of scaling, MegaETH has cut a lot of corners. That's not surprising. The team prefers the term optimizations by removing some of the key components that make blockchains. So that's the thing. Unlike other L2s and rollups, it has no plans to ever decentralize the sequencer, which allows it to use a bunch of high-end equipment to ramp up the throughput. Data storage has been outsourced to the less secure and yet non-battle tested EigenDA rather than Ethereum. And the L2 is missing plans for a crucial component of the don't trust, verify ethos, which is consensus, where all of the participants in the network agree on the state of the blockchain. All L1s require this. L2s have the ability to opt out. Delphi digital researcher Prasad Mahadik explains that the decentralized consensus slows blockchains down. The speed of light acts as an ultimate bottleneck, and the more nodes there are dispersed, the more time it takes to get consensus, he says. MegaETH, being an L2, has only one sequencer, constraints of hardware requirements, Mahadik says. So, in other words, what they're doing is, some of the reasons why Ethereum is so slow is by design, okay? And the scalability, as you can see, is limited by the technology, right? Speed of light, consensus, protocols, and the more the nodes, the slower it gets, etc. And those things are important, just like with Bitcoin. They're important because they are needed to attain the level of security that is required for a blockchain to function as a blockchain, okay? So don't trust, verify is a design that was inbuilt into blockchains, starting with Bitcoin, etc., and working its way down to all the other blockchains, okay? The verification process, the consensus process, all of those take time, and they are limited by the theoretical speed of light, okay? It's a law of physics limitation. And in order to get past that, to scale this program, they have to compromise on that. Think about your password and the way it works, right? The most secure password in the world is one that is, millions of characters long, that you've never written down anywhere. You have it in your head, memorized. It consists of a combination of uppercase, lowercase, letters, numbers, and special characters, okay? But think about how difficult that is to actually memorize and how slow it would be to type that in each time you log into something. However, if you want speed, then you can write down the password. You can make it easier to remember. You can make it shorter. It could be a 5-digit number, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It could be 6-digit, or it could be, the word password, which is apparently the most common password in the world. So the easier it is for you, the more convenient it is for you to use that password, the less secure the password is. So the job of a system actually is to find the sweet spot between convenience and security. And it's kind of the same with blockchains. The more secure the blockchain is, then kind of the slower it is under this consensus. Now, blockchains like the XRP ledger have found a way by design in its original inception not to use this same system, and the consensus algorithm that is used on the XRP ledger is such that it doesn't follow this particular pattern, and they found a way to make it faster by design so that it was designed originally to scale massively to do what it needs to do. Whereas in the inception of Bitcoin and Ethereum, it wasn't really designed to scale in the way that is being used today, which is why we now have this problem. In order to get Ethereum or Bitcoin to work as fast or scale, we need these L2s that now have to compromise on the original design. Now, the job of the team here is to find the sweet spot between security and speed, scalability and cost, etc. It is hard to see MegaETH as anything else but Ethereum's layer 2 answer to Solana. Okay, that's what I said in the beginning of the video, which has been eating Ethereum's lunch for the past 2 years with its faster and cheaper chain that uses less expensive equipment in data centers rather than Ethereum's maximally decentralized network, which is designed to be able to run on Raspberry Pis. That's amazing, actually. I didn't realize that. Crypto influencer Brad, the project's public face and head of growth, says that Ethereum's focus on decentralization above all has left L2 leaders like Base's Jesse Pollack desperate to scale faster. He's literally pleading with Ethereum developers and saying, guys, like, we're getting our asses kicked by Solana, says Brad. Sorry, not Brad, who says Solana's prioritization of scalability was influential in MegaETH's development. So basically what they're saying is Ethereum, the Ethereum protocol, is too purist, right? They're too focused on the original ethos of cryptocurrencies and of the blockchain ecosystem, which is security and decentralization. And projects like Solana are not fully decentralized, guys. They're not as secure. They have cut corners. If you've been around long enough, you would remember that even as recently as the beginning of this bull market, Solana has been experiencing data issues, security issues, things crashing all over the place. And for whatever reason, that hasn't affected the sentiment of the users. So this whole puritanical point of view, right, is only present in the heart and mind of geeks, nerds, libertarians, and people who believe in the original purpose of cryptocurrencies. It is somewhat absent in the heart of users, companies that just want to use a platform to make money. Remember, these people are coming from platforms that don't have any of this security in the first place. They don't have any of this decentralization in the first place. People are used to using AWS, Google services that are super centralized. So these companies don't care much about your decentralization. Okay, when it comes to money and inflows and companies and building, they don't care about any of this stuff that Ethereum holds so dearly, unfortunately. Now, while that is not the best thing, and I personally don't fully agree with that either, but it is just what it is. And Ethereum has to kind of compromise a little bit for it to basically not be completely replaced by systems that have compromised. It's sad, but it's just the truth. It reminds me of a social media platform that I used to use. I keep talking about this because, I was way deep into it. And it's a video platform. And the idea was to provide a decentralized alternative to YouTube. And what quickly happened was we hit a limit of speed and decentralization. The idea was that if you participated in that social media platform, your actual computer would donate space for storage of video. And all of the people who are on the system would contribute, data storage via their, computers. And this was all protected cryptographically. So I couldn't look into other people's videos or any of that. It's just a blob of crypto blob. And everything was just sitting on the database that was on a blockchain and, IPFS, I think is what it was called. I can't remember the protocol anymore. It's been such a long time. But we very quickly reached, a limitation where there just weren't enough computers. People's networks weren't fast enough to serve videos as fast, as quickly. So it was just really clunky and weird. And it just never competed with YouTube. And I think that was what basically failed the system. And at some point, the designers and developers decided to delegate out the data storage to AWS. And of course, the speed improved 100-fold. But at what cost? The decentralization. So AWS could at any point just pull a plug and the project would die. And that kind of defeats the whole purpose of decentralization and freeing oneself from the establishment. But sometimes a big centralized data center is what is needed to provide the kind of speed that is going to allow something like this to run and claim to be the first real blockchain that is not really a complete blockchain. So it's a very long and interesting article. Actually, I advise you guys to read it. I think those are just my takeaways that I've already discussed. But I do think that this is a positive step for Ethereum, and this may well actually save Ethereum. So if you're an Ethereum maximalist, while you're selling your soul a little bit to the centralized world, at least this is going to save your bacon in terms of your bags, right? This may well help Ethereum not to fall out of the top 10, because there's a lot of barbarians at the gate. Cryptocurrency speaking, that is. Not financial advice, your own research, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care of yourself. Peace.